In today's video, we are building a complete employee onboarding and training tracker in Excel branch. This is a real world HR tracking system that automatically track employee training, calculates due date, highlight overdue training in red, shows completion percentage, also creates a simple quick and dashboard. Not only that, we are doing everything step by step, beginner friendly, no shortcuts, no skip, pure explanation. Okay, by the end of this video you will understand how to structure raw HR data, how to connect tables, how to use XLOOKUP. Okay, you may have heard the VLOOKUP sometimes, HLOOKUP sometimes. Now we are using a XLOOKUP inside this, right? How to calculate due dates automatically, how to build if logic for the statuses, and how to use conditional formatting properly. This file can be used by HR teams, startup founders, project managers, and anyone who managing onboarding processes for their company compliances. Now, let's start from absolute zero. Let me give you the glance of Excel, how it looks. Okay. So we have to simply click on the start and click on this Excel option. Moment you press Excel, there are numerous options available. No need to worry. Simply click on this blank workbook. The moment you press blank workbook, you will see this kind of a navigation over here. At the top, these are the ribbons available. Here, we call this as a spreadsheet. And these are the tabs where we add the sheets individually, right? We are working in the sheet one over here. Now, what I'm going to do, I will first save this template. Okay. So saving template is important step always whenever you work inside the Excel. It's all about employee onboarding training tracker. Okay. I have saved this and keep it like this. Once it is done, it will show me like this. Okay. So this file has been saved at the top. Now we are creating our first foundational table. This is the employee master table. Every tracking system must start with clean, structured raw data. Here is the sheet one. You can say this as a sheet one and just double click over here. I will call this as a employee underscore data. Okay. And this is my sheet name. This sheet will store all employee information. Okay. Now in row one, I will type these are the headers. Okay. So basically, I will call this as a employee ID. You can speed up this video if in case you want to go for the next section. If in case you are a beginner, you can just pause it and you can just watch it until the end. I will simply type employee name. Here is the department. Okay. And the position. Let's go next and talk about start date. And at the end, this is my manager. Once I add this headers over here, I will just adjust this, make it bold, and increase the size like this. Perfect. So this is how it looks. And let me just change the background color over here. Perfect. These are the core employee fields needed for onboarding tracking. Employee ID is critical. Never rely on employee names. Names can be repeated. Just on a pro tip, folks. Employee ID must be unique always. So here I'm going to add a couple of entries. Okay. So I'm not going to type here one by one. Instead, I will just copy and paste the data what I have it here, and then okay, Control Alt here and simply paste these values. Okay, and these are the data fields for me. Okay, you can go one by one and type your entries if in case you have the maximum data available with you. For now, I have only limited data, which is 4 entries. So that's what I have just copied and pasted over here. Okay, in case you want to change this formatting, you can just simply go here and then make sure that your formatting you are keeping properly as per the data fields. Okay, and this is what the overall structure will be for me. Okay, so I'm just simply keeping this entire structured all information generic. Okay, and this is how the information look like. You may change the formatting if in case you want to change it as per your own preference, or maybe you can simply convert that into a table. Okay, To convert that table, what we have to do, either select Control A, okay, and select entire table, or maybe any of the simple cell. Press Control T from your keyboard. Okay, the moment you press Control T, you can see this pop-up available. Okay, since we are making this video series very beginner friendly, assume that you do the shortcut key of Control T. Okay, so no need to worry. What I'm going to do, I will just create a table from here. Okay, insert and click on this option called table. You will get a similar option over here. Simply click on this OK button. The moment you press OK, you will see your data design has been changed, right? Now it is available in a table format. Now, when we say table format, if in case I want to change the table style, what we can do, simply go here and pick any one simple design. Okay. Again, you have to simply choose any formal design, because whenever we are dealing with the clients or maybe the projects, okay, they really like what type of tables designs we make it for our clients in a professional way. Okay, so always choose design the professional. Okay, here also you can make some sort of changes if in case you want branded rows. I'll just simply turn that off. The moment I press that, you see only the top header and the bottom header is having a rows. Okay. If in case you don't want a filter, simply click on this option, filter button. We see that filter has been gone now. We can rename our table. The moment I change this, my table name will get changed. So whenever I call this table, I will get this entries available. So I will say this as a table small TBL employees. Okay, so this is very simple text I have added over here, and I'll hit a enter button over here. The moment I see now the table one name has been renamed with table employees. Always name your tables clearly. Prefix TBL, which is table, helps identify it as a table in a formulas. This is a professional Excel practice. Now, why we have converted this into a table? Once again, you can make this design in a proper format. Okay, your table will look neat and clean. You can pull everyone names automatically later on part. You can also pull start dates automatically. You can connect training of employees later on using a tables. Okay, our employee master table is complete now. Next, we will create training modules table. This will define what training each employee must complete and within how many days. So let's move to the next sheet. Now we create our second raw table. This is the training modules table. Every onboarding system needs two things: employees and required training modules. Click on the plus icon if in case you haven't created already. Suppose these particular sheets are not really available over here. Okay, I'm just deleting this. For an instance, you don't have this another sheet available. For that reason, you have to click on this option called plus. The moment I click on this option, you will see the new sheet has been inserted over here. Okay, and I will make sure that this changes will look like similar in a professional terms. Okay, the naming would be training modules. Okay, so underscore modules like this. Okay. You can rename it as per your own convenience what type of sections you are making inside the Excel. This sheet will store all available trainings in the company. Okay. Now here we'll simply add couple of entries over here. Module ID, training name, next here department. Okay. Mandatory, and at the end due dates. Let's select this, double click over here. Simply select this, increase the size. Okay, and arrange this. Perfect. So this is how your overall header will look like. Now let me explain each one. Module ID, why we have used this. Unique code for each training. Next is training name, the name of the courses which we are going to add it over here. Department, which department this training applies to. Here, mandatory, if in case you want to add as a 10, you can do that. So basically, one is your yes, 0 is your no. Okay, you can also add yes no section as well, yes or no. Due days, how many days after joining the employee must complete this specific training, right? Which is this. Now, due days is very important. Okay, we will use this automatically to calculate due days later. Just on a heads up. Now, since we are talking about this fields, right? Now, what we are going to do the next step, as you know, right? You can comment in the below section what I'm going to add it over here. Perfect, which means we are going to add a raw entries, correct? So here are the raw entries. I will just quickly copy that and paste it over here. Add a couple of entries over here, and these are the entries for me. What I will do over here, I will just arrange this with the alignment, and this is how it looks for me. The moment you realize your text is getting hide over here, no need to worry. Again, just select this from here. Click on this. Okay, you will see this being arranged automatically. Right. If in case it is mandatory, keep it yes. Otherwise, you can mark that as a no as well. Okay, so I will just ensure that we'll add a couple of entries as a no. Okay, and these are the yes and these are the no. In your case, couple of trainings may differ, right? You have to simply change those as per your own preference, and then you can just add it the department and the mandatory. You notice over here something important. Training apply all departments. Some are department specific. In a more advanced version, we could automatically assign training based on the department. But today we are focusing on tracking and automation logic. Now, since we have did here in employee data, convert to table, likewise, we have to do it for this as well. Okay. This time I'm not going here, insert and table. Instead, I will be simply using a shortcut key. Okay. By the time when you understand employee data, how we have created, now you will be more confident to understand how we can use a shortcut keys to create raw data set into a table. Right? To convert that, we have to simply use a control T from our keyboard. The moment I press that, I will get this pop-up available. You can see this bin selection has been showing over here, right? And then hit a OK button. Boom, you see the magic. Now I will go here again, and here we'll change this design with this. Also, branded rows, I'll remove this. Filter button, I'll remove this. And this is how it looks. This is now structured Excel data. Okay. Now I'll go a bit deeper over here. And here for table design, I will change this table name with table modules. And then hit the enter button over there. Perfect. Now we have two structured tables. Number one is table employees, and second is table modules. You see here at the top, right? So this is your table modules, and this is your table employees. Okay. Think of it like this. Okay. Table employees who join, table modules, what training exists. In the next step, we will create the main tracking sheet where everything links together. We are building the most important sheet in this workbook. Once again, click on this plus icon. Okay. Once you click on this plus icon, what we are going to add it over here, we'll add training underscore tracker. Okay. So we'll make it properly. This naming training underscore tracker over here. This sheet will connect employees with training modules. This is where HR will actually track a progress. So since it is an important sheet, I will just move this at the front. Okay. Simply select that and drag it. Here we'll add employee ID. Okay. Employee name, training name, start date, due date, completion date, and status. These are already available here. Employee ID, employee name, training name, which is in the specific section. Start date, okay, here we have it. Due date, okay, due date we have this, okay, and then completion date and status. Since we have the majority information available like this, what I'm going to do, I will just ensure we'll copy this all go into a training tracker and we'll make sure that we'll just keep this as a header like this. Okay. And what we want a training name over here, right? So we'll ensure that we'll add a training name this, and here we'll say start date. Okay. Due date. I have added this information, start date, due date, and then completion over here, dates over here. Okay. These columns will allow us to select an employee, select a training, autofill employee details, auto calculate due dates, track completion, and show the status automatically. Now, the step one, create a employee dropdown. First, we will create employee dropdown list for employee ID. Okay. Here, I will click on this option, click on this data option. Okay. And here, data validation tab, which is this data tools. Under data tools, if you see it, I have this option available called data validation. Here we'll say list. Okay. And since we have given the name of those specific tables, I will add a formula over here. And this is the formula. Okay. And say employee ID. Okay. So this is the very simple formula I have added over here. And the moment I hit a OK button, click the drop down arrow. Okay, you can see all employee IDs appear automatically. This prevents manual typing errors over here, which we have did earlier. Right? This is extremely important in HR system. Now create training dropdown. Okay, here I will click on this option called C2. Again, we'll go here data validation. Okay, click on this list option. Now you can simply select this source. You either type that text if in case the table modules you have typed it right. You can actually do in this way, or maybe simply click on this option, training modules. And what you want a this training names. Simply select this. Okay, simply you have to just select this. And the moment you see, okay, completion is done, this one, just say okay. And now this drop down shows us all training modules, which is this. Right? So now column A selects employee and column C selects training. Next, we automate everything else. Okay. Step 3 is very important. Auto pull employee name. Now, when we select employee ID, the employee name should fill automatically here, right? To do that, what I have to do, I have to do equal to sign over here. Okay. Since we have initially spoke, we are going to explain you XLOOKUP over here. Okay. So I will just add a XLOOKUP function over here. And here we'll say A2, which is this. We'll just go here. Simply select this. Right? The moment your selection is done, let's press comma. Okay. Now what we want a names. Okay. So simply select this as well. Bracket close and simply hit a enter button. Okay. The moment you press that, you will see this NA option. Okay. Why we got this error? Because we don't have selected that A2 option over here. So no need to worry. Okay. Here also we have a workaround if in case you want to resolve this NA. Okay. You can say if NA, this is the overall selection, and we'll say this. Please select employee ID. I have added this kind of text over here. The moment I do it, I just hit in enter button over here. Perfect. Now, since I have did this, it's giving me a pop-up like this. Please select the employee ID. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will just say 0 like this, and I got it Anita Rao details over here. Right. If I change this with any other person, I will get a appropriate result over here. This is why we named our table properly. Now select V2 and drag it down a few more rows over here. Okay. So let's say the bottom here. And we just copy this, and here also we have to add those and paste it like this. Okay. The moment you see the changes like this, okay, you will get the appropriate result over here, whatever we select here. Right. So far I am keeping this as it is for now. Let's move ahead, okay, to auto pull the start date for this. Okay, now we also want a employee start date to appear automatically. Now I'll click on this D2, which is this. We'll add a XLOOKUP again, this time as well. And here, once again, we'll select this, comma. I'll go again this, okay, comma. What we want a start date, right? So we'll select this as well. Bracket close, hit enter button. Okay. The moment you see this, don't get scared. Okay. Simply select this entire range. Okay. Go here at the top and change this to short date. Okay. So you will get the appropriate result over here. Now here I'm going to change this design. Okay. Because this is the header for us. We'll ensure that it will act as a header. Increase the font size and we'll arrange like this. Perfect. And we'll make sure that we'll add this couple of borders outside. Right. So this is how I have did this, copy this, and let's go at the bottom and apply here as well. Let's check if the formula works correctly. Okay, it is correct. Perfect. So we'll ensure that it is centrally aligned and it looks like this. If I change this to suppose 3, okay, so it will show me like this. So to avoid more confusion, what I will do, I'll just keep the couple of only 4 entries, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, like this 1, okay, 2, and this is 4 and 3. Okay, so there are different entries. You can see it over here. Right. Far we have 2 connected tables, drop down selection, automatic employee details. Next, we will calculate due date automatically using training due dates. That's where the automation becomes more powerful. Calculate due date equal to start date plus due days from training modules. Okay. I'll go bit slow over here because there are some logics we are going to use it over here. Okay, if in case any difficulties to get understand, okay, feel free to drop your comment in the YouTube section because we thoroughly go with each comment on YouTube. Okay, and we'll give you the appropriate resolution then and there. Now we are building the most important formula in this tracker. We want Excel to automatically calculate a due date. Okay, the logic is simple. Each training has a number of days. Okay, each employee has a start date. So the formula is start date plus due dates equal to due date. Okay, here we'll simply go E2 is equal to D2. Okay, which is your start date. We'll do plus option over here and simply add a X lookup. Okay, now don't get confused. Okay, just concentrate on this, which will help you to understand what exactly we are building over here. And then we'll say C2, comma, your table modules training name. Okay, so basically these are your training modules, right? So we'll ensure that we'll be selecting this. Okay, these are your training names. You either just directly type this. Now here, what we want a due days. Right, so these are the due days for us. We'll close this, the bracket. And then the moment we done with it, I'll just hit a enter button. Okay. And since it is a due date, we'll get this appropriate date over here. And then we'll drag it at the bottom over here. Okay. Again, if in case you want to ensure that this NA is not be shown to you, no need to worry. Just go at the top here. Okay. Let's say is equal to if NA at the top over here. And then comma here, let's say double inverted comma like this, and then keep it like this. Okay, we'll add a comma. Perfect. And then hit enter button. Let's drag it at the bottom. You see that NA has been gone. Perfect. This is how simplified the process overall. So break this carefully. D2 is the employee start date. Now inside the XLOOKUP. T2 is selected training name. We search for the training inside the table modules, training name column. Then we return the due days column. So Excel finds how many days are allowed for the specific training. Then we add those days to the start date. Excel automatically calculate the correct calendar date. Okay. So for example, 1 day equals 1. Okay. 7 days equals to 7. And then accordingly, it will get plus for the specific date. And then we get a appropriate dates over here. Okay. I'll just change this here as well. I need this drop downs here as well. So simply copy this and we'll ensure that we'll apply here as well. Okay. And let's check this sales CRM and financial this thing, right? And the cyber security basics. Perfect. So this is how entire looks like for me. Okay. Before we build the status formula, we need to understand the completion date column. Okay, look at the column F over here. Okay, the completion date. This column is manually entered by HR, which is this. Okay, and that's what we are making this in a appropriate change, which is this, right? So this has been done by the manually by HR. So what type of date they are going to add it over here. When employee finishes a training, HR will enter actual completion date here, and there is a no formula in this specific column. Manual input is filled. Now we are building the status column over here. This column will automatically displays completed, overdue, or pending. Okay. Here, what I'm going to do, I'll just simply press here G2. Before we typing the formula, let's define the business rules clearly. Okay. Rule number one: if completion data is filled, the training is completed. Okay. Rule number two: if completion date is empty, right? The today's date is greater than a due date, then training is overdue. Rule number three: if completion date is empty and the due date is not passed, then the training is pending. Now let's translate this with a Excel logic, how Excel will understand this. Now here we'll simply type this formula. You can see it on the screen, right? And hit a enter button over here. We'll simply drag it at the bottom. Yes. Perfect. I change this date for today's control and semicolon. You will see these changes over here. Okay. And we'll ensure that we'll apply some sort of conditional formatting over here, text that content. If it is overdue, which means I will say this as a red, which is fine, right? Then I'll go here, text that contains completed. Suppose it is a completed, okay? Which means this is a green for me, okay? And suppose it is a pending, right? So it is a pending. I'll go here and we'll ensure that it will show me this as a pending. So this is how overall it looks, right? You can also apply a conditional formatting wherever you need, right? Which will make your overall design fine, right? Since we have built this, now it's time to add a header over here, right? I'll go at the top, insert couple of rows at the top, we'll increase this, and here either type or simply keep it whatever header you wish to add it. We'll just ensure that we'll keep this as a this training tracker like this, okay? And we'll ensure that we'll keep it like this. We'll keep it like this, make it bold, and this is how it looks. We'll go here, view, and turn this option off over here. Okay. If in case you want to see this in a visualization format, okay, what you can do, just have to simply select this, select the training name, go into an insert, recommended chart. Here we have this many charts available. Okay. Let's press Control X from here and go here and make sure that you will be adding that chart over there. Okay. And let's turn this on over here. Right click over here, hide all, and keep these grid lines vertical. This is how your overall training status will look like. If in case you want to see it like this, okay, for the specific employee name, okay, you can do that as well. You don't have to insert a pivot table for that. If in case you already have pivot table, ensure that you will be just copying that, okay, and keeping like this. Just paste it, and here in the field list, we will add the employee name over here. Okay, let's close this, and this one is the overall statuses, right? So we'll just simply select this and keep it like this. Okay, and close this. Go into insert once again, recommended chart, and here we'll insert a appropriate chart which fits our own requirement. Just select this, Control X from this, go into a training status tracker, and then you will see this tracker has been shown over here. Right click over here, hide all. Okay. Here also you can just delete this title, the bottom over here, data call like this, and this is how it looks. Totally not required for us. Of it, and I'll ensure that we'll change this. Okay, the title. Super. Great. Right. So this is how the overall look, and will ensure that this is the raw data file, so it's not really required for me. Will change this, right click over here, tab color will be yellow, and rest of the others will be the my backend sheet, right? The moment you have the new training modules, you just have to simply go at the backend sheet, update those entries, and then in the employee data, if in case any new hiring, let's go here, add the position, entry, and refresh this data. Okay, so your dashboard will automatically get updated. Okay, if in case you want to give this a printout to your bosses or maybe a screenshot, let me just add the border over here. Okay, and then change this to no fill, and here we'll add a border like this. Weight is this. Okay. So this is how your entire employee onboarding training tracker will look like for you. Now let's quickly recap what we built today. We started with a raw employee data. Then we created structured training modules table. After that, we built training tracker sheets, okay, one by one. And we have explained that part clearly. That connects everything together. Later on, we have used XLOOKUP. Remember XLOOKUP? We haven't used a VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. We have used a XLOOKUP to pull employee information automatically. Later on, we have calculated due dates using start date plus training due dates. Okay. We created a completion date column for HR to manually update this. You can see it on the screen, right? Then we built intelligent status logic using a if condition. Finally, we have added the conditional formatting. So overdue shows red, completed shows in green, and pending shows in yellows. Okay. At the end, we have added the dashboard kind of view. Okay. Whenever leaders need this kind of view at one glance, you can simply update the information, go at the top in the data ribbon tab, refresh your data like this, and then you can just share it across with your bosses. Right. This is a real world HR onboarding system. It reduces manual tracking, it prevents calculation errors, it updates automatically and gives management instant visibility. Now imagine expanding this further. You could add department filters, create buttons over here, track certifications, add reminder alerts, or even to enhance this to a Power BI. Right? But the foundation we built today is the core architecture. If this tutorial helped you to understand Excel better, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Discover Talent. If you want the advanced version with dashboards and slicer, comment advanced on YouTube. And if you want the template format for project management tracking, comment project. Okay. If in case you want to build your own tracker, I'll give you the subject to work on that and I can rate you accordingly. I'll analyze that on the upcoming YouTube series. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next tutorial.